Welcome back to the Brew Crew Podcast, everyone. This is the second day of the Advent calendar, day 2. Today we got High Wire Brewing's We're 9. Ninth anniversary lager, that's why. It's their 9th anniversary. Again, part of the Advent calendar. Got it at Barrel House. 24 days of beer. This is day 2. Chuggalos Phil joining the pod for a second day in a row. Excellent.
Yo.
Got a streak going now.
Yo.
That's an official streak. That's 2.
Yeah.
Talked to Steph today.
That's right.
We're gonna try to get together and do some some with him, even not the middle one that we're gonna do as a group. But this is it. Let's just jump right in because yesterday was about 22-minute video. Well, we'll do a real Advent calendar video this time.
Yes.
We're 9 amber lager. Aged in bourbon barrels. Very interesting.
Bourbon barrels.
This is going to be interesting. A lot of questions.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of different flavors in the profile of this baby.
Oh, yeah. All right, get primed up. Let's open this thing up, and then we'll talk. Or
right.
one of us talks while the other one drinks. We'll get a good taste.
All right, ready?
Yeah, ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah. Nice and shook.
Look, TV beer.
Nice and shook. All right. So this is a 9th anniversary beer, 7.2%.
Oh.
Bock beer lagered in bourbon barrels. It's a happy birthday beer from Highwire out of Asheville, North Carolina. Asheville's great. You been to Asheville?
Been to Asheville.
Fantastic town.
Lovely place.
Scary at night. Not that I know from experience, but I went there and one night it was a completely different town.
Really?
At night. Just the daytime was just like party, beer, breweries, walkable. Night hit, and it was like, oh, let's just stay inside. It was weird.
I don't remember.
It was
much
a great
about
summer
the
day.
night. I think I was there on business, and
that's boring.
the night was basically go to a restaurant, go back to the hotel, pretty much. That's about all I remember about it. But I do remember flying into Asheville, and I remember flying in there during the fall, in the summer and in the fall. I flew there for a number of months. And in the summer, it was this giant, when you flew in, it was this giant carpet of green with all the trees. It was
it's great.
It was just pure green trees. And in the fall, it was like every color of the rainbow. It was like Ohio.
Asheville has the benefit of being right butted up against the Smoky Mountains. So it's like a perfect backdrop to a beer town because nothing goes better with a long hike or bike ride, like you mentioned yesterday, than beer. But that reminds me when we went to Asheville, I went with Bobby, Chuggalo Bobby, by the way. He's a donator. I don't know that he's ever listened, but he donated some beer. We went to Asheville, drove over the Smoky Mountains, and I don't know if it's at the very top, but you feel like you're at the very top. There's a pizza, it's a convenience store attached to a pizza.
Really? At the top of the Smoky Mountains?
It was awesome pizza.
Wow.
Awesome pizza. Pizza that almost made it worth driving 2 hours up a mountain.
Oh my gosh. Out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, insane. If it was dark out, you'd probably hear banjos.
Well, unless they show any bias or any untoward internal preconceived notions that I may have, was it it was like hillbilly pizza?
It wasn't hillbilly though. That's the thing.
Really?
Is I guess kind of you think North Carolina, it's the beginning of the South, but it wasn't. It was just
backwoods.
A total it wasn't classy by any means, but it was your typical family pizza restaurant. Tables,
wow.
Just service. It was good. No, everyone was friendly and nice. It wasn't you felt uncomfortable. It was just how much business could this place possibly get?
Out in the middle of nowhere.
But you'd think, man, I guess maybe everyone who goes up the mountain, if you know about this, it's not relevant to the podcast, but if you know about this convenience store with the pizza,
comment below.
Let us know. What's up with that place? If you work there, let us know. That'd be awesome.
Do you remember the name of the place?
No.
If you remember the name
Top
of the place.
Top of the Mountain Pizza.
If you remember the name of the place and you put it in the comments below, I'll buy you a 6-pack of this beer right here.
Damn. And that's good
right,
because they're in Asheville.
On SFIL.
I regret to say I did not go to High Wire.
High Wire.
I went to the Funkatorium. I went to, which is Wicked Weed. I went to Burial. Burials was like the main attraction there. Awesome place. If you got, go to Highwire for sure.
Highwire makes great beer.
Then go to Burial, or go to Burial, then Highwire. Mm-hmm. Those are probably the two. And I think Sierra Nevada built a place out there. There's 100 breweries there. It would be impossible to outshout them all. Wow. Anyway, enough of that. Asheville, North Carolina, Highwire. Congratulations on reaching 9 years.
9 years. Congratulations, Highwire.
We've done them on the podcast, so I don't think we need to belabor their background, but their main mantra is they make beer they want to drink. And so lagers typically are what are produced at Highwire. They want to drink lagers.
Now, it's interesting. So it's a Bock beer per the can and their own published can statement. Bock beer lagered in bourbon barrels. Mm-hmm. So Bock is a German lager style. It's typically dark though, and this is not dark. This is amber. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to me. We got a Bock beer, which is
it does say amber lager on the front.
It says amber lager on the front and Bock beer on the back. So that's very interesting. Lagered in bourbon barrels, and boy, you sure can taste that. Mm-hmm. You can taste the bourbon.
Yeah.
On the finish here. There we go. I slipped it in. I told you I would last night.
Not often can you taste the bourbon.
I like that though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it works here.
It's a really good. Really good addition to the flavor profile. Adds some complexity there and some depth of character to the beer. This is a really good beer. Yeah. I like this beer a lot, and it's 7 point. Did you mention 7.2? I think you mentioned that.
You're hitting a lot of good notes. You just dive into your full review. Wow. I guess that's part of it.
Are you going to do the?
If you don't have a score, I'll do that one.
Yeah, all right.
We'll take turns.
I'm really liking this beer a lot. I'm kind of a sucker for bourbon barrel aged beers. John turned me on to. What was that first one? It's been like...
I hated bourbon barrel beers pretty much until middle of this year. I always thought it was a gimmick.
You turned me on to one that you had in the fridge inside like a year ago.
Oh, yeah. That was...
so good.
That was Founders, and it was one of the old man ones. It was like Old Bastard.
Yes, Old Bastard.
It was something like that. It wasn't it, but it was something like that. It was a bourbon barrel.
And I went to
good beer.
I went to go find that one. They didn't have it. I went to the corner, and I didn't find it, but I found another one that they had called that was a Scotch ale that had bourbon in it as well. And I love that one. Big Bad Baptist, something like that. They have a couple. Yeah.
The one that we had, it wasn't one of the main beers that they have a lot of barrel aged stuff, Founders, but yeah, it's surprising that I'm the one who not introduced but turned you on to them.
Well, here it is. I brought it up and I can't even remember the name of it, but it was something Old Bastard something. That's really descriptive. Everyone's going to be laughing at me watching this, but that's kind of what turned me on to that. And I love that flavor profile in there. It's not overpowering, right? It doesn't taste like a bourbon at all. It's just got that little, you get a whiff of it in the nose, and then you get a on the finish when you're swallowing it, you can taste it a little bit, just a little bit of a tinge to it. Just adds so much to it. I really like it a lot. Wow, this is a beer I drink a lot of.
Backwoods Bastard.
What's that?
Backwoods Bastard.
Backwoods Bastard.
Not to take away from Highwire.
No, Backwoods Bastard's
Backwoods
great,
Bastard is a good beer.
It is. It's a great beer. We love it. Anyway, I like this one a lot. I'm going to give this one a 4.0.
Nice. All right, that's a good review. Okay, here's the Can Art Boner segment brought to you by Barrel House.
Nice.
Barrel House. Can Art here. So Highwire has extreme close up. They have a logo where there's a tightrope walker with a one of those long poles. And this one just has just a kind of an Argyle-ish design. In a way, not really.
Yeah.
A medallion in the middle with the logo. It says the years. I mean, it's what does this remind me of? The We're 9 part. It kind of reminds me maybe of like war propaganda.
Yeah.
Because the stars in the middle of the letters.
Yeah.
Kind of give you that like Uncle Sam poster kind of feeling.
Yeah. Nice.
Right.
Nice, like a World War II kind of vintage.
Yeah, vintage, very vintage. Yeah,
what do they used to call those? Like,
vintage shouting advertisements.
They were victory signs. They called them. I think they were like victory signs or something like that. They were kind of pep things.
They were, AKA, when you're on the winning side, it's not propaganda, right? It's advertisements. They're eliciting or whatever money for bonds, war bonds.
Yeah.
But we won, so it worked.
So what do they say?
But if you're like North Korea, I mean, it's all propaganda. It's all nonsense,
right?
Because it's bullshit.
Same with Russia, because
also like if it's provably false, it's propaganda. When Uncle Sam said America's the best, that's not provably false. It's provably correct.
The victors write history are the ones that get to write the
World
history.
War champs. United States.
We are 2-time World War champs, actually 3. If you consider the Cold War a world war, we won the Cold War too.
So there you go. So that's what this font reminds me of. But on the other side,
that's a good point.
It kind of has the good beer, good times font is a little different. I'm not a font expert. I just say what sparks. I say what sparks, which clearly nothing's sparking right now because I can't think of the vocabulary.
It's kind of a 70s vibe, the font there on the top. But then the bottom part, which says Highwire Brewery, that looks like a circus arcade.
Yeah, that's always their font.
Been like a circus kind of thing, which makes sense.
Highwire,
yeah.
They have so many fonts on this can. I didn't really realize it. Beer, good times. Then the alcohol by volume Bach beer. Then the happy birthday. Then the Highwire. There's a lot of fonts. A lot of fonts going on here. It works for me. It's like when you in high school or younger, in my case, and you learn PowerPoint for the first time, and you're like, whoa, look at all these fonts. So like every bullet that you make has a different font.
I want to highlight something here. Look at this head. The head of this beer has a thick, foamy head that's about 3/4 of an inch, and it's real tight little bubbles. That head is like a stout head, like you'd see on a Guinness. It's unusual to see that in a Bach beer. It's a lager, and it has a head this thick. Look at that. It's nice, foamy, creamy head. It's rare to see a head like that on a lager. It just is. I mean, I don't know any other lagers that I've ever seen that on before, but it's beautiful, and it also kind of betrays the character of the beer that's in it, right? It's got more substance in the maltiness of it, because that's where the thickness of the carbonation comes from.
It doesn't betray it though. It innovates it. It brings it along.
Betrays
it carries
the wrong
it further
word.
Along.
Yeah.
In beer, it's easy to do the same thing. It's hard to do something different.
Yeah. So I saw that and I thought, and it's just staying there. Look at, it's just staying there. Like when you go into a pub, in a British pub, Irish pub, or a pub in the States that knows how to do it, that knows how to take care of, maintain, manage, and pour Guinness Stout, for example, you will see a hand pump probably, and when they pump it, it'll have a perfect head like this, and that head will stay on there for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And look at that. I think it's beautiful.
It's just stuck.
It's beautiful.
That's awesome. No beer I drink lasts 20 minutes. It's gone. No, this beer, so that's the can art bonus segment brought to you by Barrel House. Nice. For a can with not much can art, that was a lot.
It's cool.
Taste-wise, the bourbon definitely is the flavor of this beer, and that is unique because, like we said, bourbon barrel aged beers don't typically have like a distinctly bourbon taste unless you're some kind of, maybe like the, what do they call them? Sommelier. And you're just like so good at it. But usually it just adds something. The bourbon barrel process adds a lot to it. It also ages it, gives it a little bit more alcohol content. In this case, though, it's the flavor. It's definitely the flavor. It's like it was filtered through a bourbon barrel. Like they had a porous barrel and they just filtered it because it's just bourbon. And for that, it makes it. This makes like bourbon crushable. This is like a chuggable bourbon because it's beer.
Yes, for us chuggalos.
For the chuggalos, this is very good. I think the flavor's bourbon. The amber color probably comes from some of that that darkening maybe within the bourbon barrel. I mean, it's a good beer. This beer, from like what feelings? How does it feel to drink this beer? It's smooth. It's again, it is a crushable beer, even though it doesn't really have the traditional attributes of a chuggable, crushable beer. I mean, I could slam this beer. This beer is really good. You could almost shotgun this beer. It's almost like bourbon light.
It is. You know? It's a very, I don't know, the bourbon is so interesting, weird. Isn't it? Because it's not over. It's well balanced.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't overpower the beer, but it's definitely there.
It's there.
I mean, it's there. It imparts a flavor that you can't mistake. You're not going to miss it. It's there. You're going to sit up and notice it, but it doesn't slap you in the face. You know. Mm-hmm. So, but it is. It's very drinkable. It's not like too heavy or. You know, like a double bock beer, you know, when they double bock it, then that starts getting to be a lot heavier beer, higher alcohol content and that sort of thing. You wouldn't be able to sort of chug those.
Yeah.
But this is a very drinkable beer.
You could chug.
You know, kind of, I hate to borrow a phrase that we already used last night, but, you know, we talked about last night's beer as being, the data points as being very drinkable in warmer weather, which is unusual for a double IPA. I would say the same thing about this one. This is very drinkable.
Yeah, you could drink this.
Totally, at a baseball game or whatever.
You could put this in a 12-ounce can and sell it, you know, in a 12-pack. It's 7%, so it's going to be a little higher up there.
Yeah.
But so is Truth, so it's not like you're getting an overabundance of alcohol. It's a good beer. I'm giving it a 0.25 bump in what score. I actually would give this beer based on its flavor and my take to it. I would give it a 4.25, but I'm giving it a 4.5 because it has that unique bourbon flavor. I think that anyone I have after this will be at a 4.25. Like, you know what I'm saying? It gets a little bump because I've never had a beer like this before.
You know what? I was going to, immediately after the 4.0 came out of my mouth, I was going to retract it and say 4.25.
No, that's your score. I mean,
but that's my score now. I can't take it back now. But I completely applaud you and support you in that. I think it's worthy of being a 4.5 beer. It's great. It's a great beer. By the way, you know, a lot of people might think a beer like this, looking like this, kind of dark and stuff, this might be, you know, real hoppy, and it's not. It's not a West Coast style at all. It's very well balanced, you know, for an amber lager. It's almost, you know, what it reminds me of? It reminds me of an Oktoberfest.
Oh yeah, I guess so. With bourbon,
with bourbon, right?
Or with bourbon,
you know,
like everything that this beer can only be spoken about in the context of with bourbon. Like it is a bourbon beer. It's a bourbon flavored beer.
It is without a doubt.
Yeah.
And that's kind of an acquired taste, like John said. You know, when you take your first drink of a bourbon aged beer, you go, "Oh, that's different." You know, so it takes a little bit of an adjustment.
Mostly,
but it's good.
Most of the time, though, it's the booze.
Yeah.
You don't taste the bourbon; you taste liquor.
Yeah.
This one, it's
flavor.
Bourbon.
Yeah.
So We're 9, High Wire Brewing, Asheville, North Carolina. Pick this up day 2 of the Advent calendar. It doesn't have to be day 2 of the Advent calendar for you to drink this beer. You can drink it anytime. If you find it, pick it up because it is good.
It is very
unique.
good.
It's a beer that you add to your repertoire because of its uniqueness, and you can say that you've done it.
4.5 from John, 4 from me, average 4.25. That's a pretty damn good beer.
Pretty good beer. I'm looking forward to We're 10 next year.
We're 10.
Or Hang 10. Whatever they name it, I look forward to it in the Advent calendar next year.
It's really good.
Any parting thoughts?
Just that this is inspiring me to actually want to go seek out more High Wire beers.
High Wire's great. A lot of High Wire in Ohio. Seek it out.
Yeah, I definitely want to try some more of them because I'm very impressed by what they did with this. What they produced here. So
yeah, if you are local, everything we're having on this podcast, this Advent calendar is available, or at what was available at Barrel House. So you check there first. I believe it's 3rd Street, and if not there, you got Belmont Party Supply. That's just a few streets away. You got Arrow Wine and Spirits. You could go down to Beaver Creek, and they have Hall's Corner, which is amazing. Hall's Corner is always amazing.
Hall's.
That's it.
That's like the place to, Hall's is like Valhalla for Vikings, right? It's where you go when you die. It's that good. They have a constant supply, an unlimited supply of more beers than you could possibly imagine. You pull up to it, and it looks like a gas station.
Right, without pumps.
Right, without pumps. And you walk in, and it's this incredible potpourri and giant inventory of every kind of beer imaginable. And most of it you probably never heard of before. It's so much fun.
I started going there in like 2018, and they had only one row. Then they slowly started getting rid of the candy, and they started getting rid of the air fresheners, and they got rid of all the other convenience store stuff, and now it's like beer. It's just a beer store, basically.
Wow. What's the proprietor's name there again?
Pat, I believe.
Pat. Right.
I'm blanking on it. I think it's Pat.
Anyway, really nice guy. Been there
Super
a long
nice.
time.
He'll order anything.
Oh, yeah.
Except Mother Earth. He tried. He did try. That's it. You got any last thoughts?
Nope. I'm good. Chuggalos.
Bye.
Bye.